everyone, and welcome to day 12 of our 31-day minimalism challenge. So glad to have you back. So today I wanted to talk about something a little different. Now, I'm sure you've heard the quote that a cluttered space is a cluttered mind. And I don't know about you, but in my personal life, this is 100% accurate. I work from home, so if there is any sort of clutter around me, it makes it nearly impossible for me to even think. Stay focused on one task is just very, very distracting to me. This got me thinking though, how do you solve something like that? Of course, getting rid of the clutter is the first and most important way to do that. But sometimes as humans, we tend to have racing thoughts, especially when you lay down to go to sleep at night. Or maybe it's first thing in your morning when you're starting to lay out your day ahead. How do you sort through what's rattling around in your brain? Well, here's a few tips that I have, and this is a little action step that I take that I find to be very therapeutic, but also to really help me prioritize my time. Because what happens for me is when I have a bunch of racing thoughts, for example, it makes it hard for me to stay focused on a task. Well, what I started doing is taking my journal and just in the morning after I have my cup of coffee and I'm laying out my day, I just start writing down every single thing that comes to my mind. All the thoughts that have been racing there since the night before when I was having trouble falling asleep, to the thoughts that were still there when I woke up this morning. And then what I like to do at the end is just take a quick glance through all of the items that I listed out. And if any of the things that I wrote down requires action from me, then I need to put a star next to it so I know to add it to my to-do list for that day. And I make sure that I prioritize those things because guess what? Those things, those thoughts related to that action that I need to take are taking up space in my mind and basically getting rent for free. Having a visual list is super helpful because then what you're able to do is to organize it and prioritize it. And then, like I said, take action where it's necessary. And then the other is our habits. I read a quote from Eleanor Brown. It said, "Clutter is not just physical stuff. It's old ideas, toxic relationships, and bad habits." Without even knowing it, we develop habits and we basically write a computer program in our minds. Without even thinking about it, we go through the motions day in and day out. And without taking notice of what we're actually doing, we often don't realize that some of the habits that we've created are not good for us. Some of these habits can be very negative and self-destructive even. So in order to actually make better choices and decisions and start creating better habits, we have to understand where the bad ones are. We are so pre-programmed that we don't even realize what we're doing sometimes. We're on autopilot. So one example that I can think of is what I do when I first get out of bed. I've tried very hard to not check my phone. I like to have human interaction first. I like to have interaction with my dog first. But I notice a big difference when I don't do the phone check first thing. But it's being self-aware and really taking note of the areas where things are not working as you want them to, that are not optimal. And it doesn't have to be some crazy self-destructive behavior. These can be very simple things, just like not picking up your phone first thing. And then finally, and this is kind of an overarching thought, as part of the process of decluttering your things and decluttering your mind and your habits, you're by default decluttering your life. But all I want is an intentional life that is simple, without the unnecessary drama, unnecessary distractions. I just want to live a life with more experience, more love, more gratitude, and less stuff. And once you get down this process of decluttering your life and feeling the impact that it has on you, you'll start to realize that these shifts that you've started to take are pushing you in a positive direction. But we need to define our priorities, define what's important to us. So I hope this kind of sheds some light on some areas in your life that maybe don't have physical clutter, but are still cluttering your mind and your outlook and your mindset. And I hope that you'll join me tomorrow for day 13 of our minimalism challenge. Until then, don't forget, always keep it simple, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.